In quadratic inequality, we are supposed to sketch the graph first of all, okay, to find the solution of that inequality. So we know that a quadratic equation means it has equal sign, okay. So quadratic equation, for example, if we have x square plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. This means equal to 0 means this is an equation. We know how to solve it using completing square method we learned. Before you learn how to solve using equation and for factorization. Okay, so here we have only completing square to solve it. But here we have the topic quadratic inequality. So inequality, if I take the same equation, x square plus 7x plus 12. But instead of equal, if I write less than 0, that means this is an inequality, right? So we have the inequalities less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So if x square plus 7x plus 12 less than 0, this is an inequality. First of all, what we do, we take this equation, this x square plus 7x plus 12, this whole equation to the left side, we take it as y. Remember, you should remember that this right side always should be positive, always should be 0, okay. Suppose if the question was x square plus 7x less than minus 12. So since the right side is not 0, we will shift it to this side. So it becomes x square plus 7x plus 12 less than 0. So then we will make it in this form so that the right side is 0. After that we take y, okay. So suppose let y is equal to x square plus 7x plus 12. You can find the vertex also like I explained in the class, but we will find only the minimum things to sketch the graph, okay. So here we put, first of all we put x is equal to, 0. So what will be the y value? Y is equal to 0 square plus 7 times 0. 7x means 7 multiply x, right? So 7 times 0 plus 12. So when you simplify this, you are going to get 12. So the y value we got is 12. So when x is 0, y value is 12. That is 1 point we got. Okay. X is 0 means y axis. Always remember x 0 means y axis. So we are getting the point 12 on the y axis. Now after this, we will substitute for y. So put y equal to 0. So when y equal to 0, this equation becomes 0 equals x square plus 7x plus 12. 0 equals x square plus 7x plus 12. This is a quadratic equation. This you can simplify in calculator and you will get x is equal to minus 3 minus 4. Okay, simplify this in the calculator. So we got 2 points on the x-axis. Now using these 2 points, we are going to sketch the curve. So the curve will be, we have x and y axis. This is y-axis and this is x-axis. We have 3 points on the x-axis, which is minus 4 and minus 3. Okay. And on the y-axis, we have the number 12. So the graph will be going through this like this, okay. So this is the graph. This is not exact, but it's okay because we are just sketching the graph. We got the shape of the graph. Why did we draw through like this? Because first of all, we know that the coefficient of x square is a positive number. If it is positive, that means the curve is going to be of U shape. But if it was minus, then it will be upside down U. But now it is U shape, okay. So we have U shape here. And then now the question says, the quadratic inequality says we have less than 0. So we have less than 0. So less than 0 means this graph has less than 0 in which side? Less than 0 means y value negative, okay. So y negative in this section. So this is the region y less than 0 or function less than 0. In this less than 0 part, we have which part of the curve is there? Only this part. See this. Only this part of the curve is there in this less than part. So, but this value corresponds to which x value? From minus 4 to plus 3, minus 3, right? From minus 4 to minus 3. So, the solution of this quadratic inequality is minus 4 less than x less than minus 3. Remember, if the question had less than or equal to, in the question, if instead of less than, if it was less than or equal to, then in the answer also we will take it less than or equal to. So we will write here minus 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to minus 3. But since here in the question it was not there, we have only this much in the solution. Which one? Minus 4 less than x less than 0. Okay. Instead of less than 0, instead of question less than 0, if we had, instead of less than 0, if we have greater than 0, then what will happen? So we have the equation, same question I'm taking, x square plus 7x plus 12 greater than 0. Okay. So it is greater than 0. So we do the same steps. We put x is equal to 0 and we find y, and we put y equal to 0 and we find x. So we will be getting the points 0, 12 and x value minus 3 and minus 4, and we sketch the graph same way. So we are getting the graph like this. So here it is minus 4 and here minus 3. But the question says it's greater than 0. If it is greater than 0 means y positive. Y positive in the upper part. So this is the region y greater than 0. So in this region, we have to find the y value corresponding to this region. So we can see this region y greater than 0 happens. From the curve, we can see y greater than 0 happens when the curve this part and on this part. Okay. So on these two parts, this part and this part, y has greater than 0 here. But the curve, if it comes here, this y value is less than 0, right? So we have to say the y greater than 0 part is the upper part where the curve is less than minus 4 or greater than minus 3. So the solution in this case will be x less than minus 4 and x greater than minus 3. Okay. So in another way, in general, if we say the equation, other than this question, in general we can say if we have U shape, okay, and from the point A to a point B, the curve is from the point A to the point B, and if function is, if we have to find fx greater than 0 region, so fx greater than 0 happens in this region, right? So the solution, you can remember, it will be x less than A or x greater than B. Okay, these two parts. So in general, if a function greater than 0 is given and then the curve is U shape, then its upper part will be, the solution will be x less than A and x greater than B. But the same question, U shape, but if it is less than 0, this part, then we say, that is question is fx less than 0. Then we will say x a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b. That means same like the last question. Here a and b were minus 4 and minus 3. So we took, because less than 0 was the region, so minus 4 to minus 3. But here, if it is greater than 0, less than minus 4 and greater than minus 3, this way. Okay, so this is in general, you can remember it as x less than a and x less than, a less than x less than b. Okay. Same way, if we have the curve, if we have upside down U shape, okay, and this is A and this is B. If the function is greater than 0, fx greater than 0, That means we have this part of the curve, that is y value positive, right? If fx greater than 0. But greater than 0 happens for this much part. See, this part only it has uh, greater than 0. In the greater than 0 part, we have this part of the curve. And this part happens for the x values between a and b. So the solution will be a less than x less than b. Okay? And if function is less than 0, if it is less than 0 part is here. And in this part, which part of the curve is coming here? We have this part of the curve. See, this part and this part comes in less than part, 0 part. So this happens before A and after B. So we say the solution is x less than A or x greater than B. Okay. So this way you can remember in general way. If the function is of U shape, then fx greater than 0 will be x less than A greater than B. If the function is less than 0, it will be A less than, sorry, this is A less than x less than B. And then fx, same thing, the opposite way, in if the curve is N shape. Remember, if the question instead of less than 0, if it was less than or equal to 0, then everywhere the solution also will have equal. Okay, here also greater than or equal to 0 will have equal. And here greater than or equal to means here also will be equal and here also will be equal, like this.